love me, say that you love me, fool me, go on and fool me, love me, pretend that you love me, need me, say that you need me, I don't care about anything but you. Oh, sorry, that was just me singing a completely unrelated song to the fact that everyone's been like, hey, you gotta see this thing that Heidi posted on Instagram or whatever. Like, you gotta react to it. Mac, you gotta react to it. Okay, all right, we gonna react to it. But I haven't watched it yet, so we'll see. But I heard that it is bizarre, so I'm excited. And also, like, I told you guys, what did I say? I told you they're going to have to store this relationship in Yucca Mountain if Nevada will let us, because, you guys, you got to remember the half-lives on these things, okay? It's going to take, I was telling you, it's going to take so long for this to decay, okay? You're like, oh, they broke up. I'm like, okay, well, we'll see. See, it's going to take another 1 billion years, you guys, for 50% of it to go away. We got a long haul ahead of us. Oh, by the way, hey, I'm Mac. Welcome back to my channel. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe and consider joining my Patreon for access to new videos. So 24 hours early, ad-free. Let's go!
I'm live. I am live.
Yeah, we knew.
What's up, guys? I told you I was gonna go live with Danielle at 5:30. I'm 9 minutes late. I'm 9 minutes late because I was shooting a video and it took me just a minute. How are you guys? Happy, what day are we in? We are in,
wait, like, do you not know what month it is? I can understand not knowing what day of the week it is, especially if you're like her and you don't have a traditional job. Like, if you have a traditional job, you just kind of know what day it is. But if you don't, like, why would you know? But not knowing the month, really? Like, oh my God, Heidi, you're so chaotic.
Today, hi guys. Can someone remind me what today is? I don't remember.
Heidi, pull down the notification shade on your phone.
It's Thursday. Today's Mona. What's up, Mona? Mona, are you gonna go live with me this week? Are you gonna go live? Yeah, I hopped a flight. What? Oh, I think I'm good without glasses. Thank you. Oh, these are he brought me my sunglasses.
Rainbow sunnies.
I want to be able to connect. You want to come hop in here? So.
Sunnies? We don't say sunnies in the United States, okay?
Oh, we're going to go live with Danielle.
Are we?
Yeah, where are you at?
God, they are so lame.
Yeah, we're going to go live with Danielle. Danielle is somebody who does every single day with me. I mean, I have missed a couple days, I'm not going to lie, because it's been a crazy week. But for the most part, every day, she's helped me understand the importance of unplugging and just being, right?
Yeah.
What? It kind of seems like she hasn't done a very good job then, because given that we're currently on Instagram right now, both of you said that you were going to take a break from social media. I don't see either of you doing that. You guys just keep talking about making changes and then doing the same shit over and over. Also, this arrangement here, that's how I sit with my friends too. Like, I mean, the ones that I'm having sex with as well, but.
Breath work and meditation. How are you, number one?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for asking.
Why?
That was an extremely forced smile.
Why am I here in Texas? I feel like we should explain.
Well.
Explain ourselves.
I mean, what I love about you is that when a problem pops up in your life, you look for an immediate remedy. And I am here for it.
I do.
But when filming content became overwhelming in Arizona,
Yeah.
you remembered that I have a filming setup right here in old Dripping Springs, Texas. And though that seems like a flimsy excuse to see me, I'm here for it.
Hold on. Let me say this, though. In all fairness, this idea popped in my head days ago. Remember? Like
It
I had
did.
said,
Heidi, this idea's been in your head basically probably since whatever happened.
I'm going to have so in Arizona, I thought I could shoot about 100 videos. I'm not kidding you.
What?
Without a camera crew. I was trying to save money and time and all of the things. I'm like, I can do it. I can set.
You guys can't even go live without it being like a half disaster and poorly lit half the time. So how are you going to shoot 100 videos, Heidi?
Set up a computer or a camera. I can get it ready because our challenge launches next week. I know I can do this. And I very quickly realized that was ridiculous. And it took me a few days of saying, nobody can come to my house. Let me lock the doors when the kids are at school. It still did not work. I'm here.
What I love
I
about
finally gave into it.
the problem solving
Is that
the solution also involves a flight that landed at 1:30 in the morning, which, again, I am here for. It doesn't make sense, but it doesn't matter.
I don't know if he thinks that we think he's kidding. I mean, it's obvious that he's not. Maybe if I were less familiar with Dave, then I would think he was kidding. But I'm too familiar with him to know that, or to think that he's not kidding. Oh, Heidi, you need to... Heidi. Get away from him. Please, get the hence from him, because he's terrible.
I heard someone on our team recently said, you need to be a solution architect.
Ooh,
I am a solution architect. That was Cicely.
I like that.
Yeah, we're all...
Heidi, architects are organized.
solution architects, and I architected a solution that, good night.
It worked out really well. It's been a
did.
super productive day. The video
It worked out for Heidi.
set up. It works.
Yeah.
And we get to hang out.
And Jeffrey. I mean, there's Jeffrey right
There's
over there.
Jeffrey the Wonder Schnauzer.
Hey, leave Jeffrey out of this. None of this was his idea.
Let me see. Danielle's hopping on. Let's find Danielle. Dave is going to do, have you ever done? Yes. Yes, we know we're on the public page. Don't worry.
Wait, what?
There's actually a really funny joke inside of our Get Fit
Inside of...
community. I don't know if it's a joke. It's a joke on me. Like, it's just, almost every time I go live in the community, I end up accidentally going live 2 other places first that are wrong. Like,
If
I'm
people
like,
start
oh,
screaming, "Wrong
and then
spot.
they start saying, you're on the
Wrong
wrong
spot."
page. And then I finally was like, well, why does it matter? We're all here anyway. We should just...
I love, though, that someone's looking out for me. Here's the thing. I'm taking a break from my social. If every once in a while I wander into yours, I'm just fine with that. Is there shared custody of Jeffrey? This is a great question.
Well, what about the professionals that you're supposed to be seeing about your issues, Dave? Do they think that's a good idea?
And let's go ahead and tackle the tough stuff.
Danielle will be right there. Danielle.
Jeffrey runs back and forth
Come here,
with
Jeffrey.
children. Yeah,
Here he
Jeffrey
is.
follows the...
But there's no kids. There's no kids. So I think that ended.
What?
Let's be honest,
Oh.
Dave. Jeffrey's now here full time. There was some back and forth time.
for the most part,
I think
follows the
he's
kids.
now no longer. he's full time here now.
Guys, leave some space for the Lord.
Right. Dave, where?
That's
Margaret.
the actual hard-hitting question.
That is, yeah.
There's
And they
you
don't
can't
even
see
know.
this on the table we're sitting on,
It's
but there
gross.
is
It's gross.
There's a 1/4 inch of pollen, which is also partially responsible for what sounds like a nasal problem with the big guy. But you know what?
All right, let me see. Danielle's here.
Hello,
New
Danielle.
request.
There she is.
Okay. Danielle, you guys, let me tell you this. She's going to do breath work. I don't even know. Danielle, what are we going to do? What are we going to do, Danielle? Hold on. Accept.
What did you guys get me into?
All right.
Here we go. Jeffrey the Wonder Schnauzer.
Where is she? Oh, there she is. Sorry, that scared me. Danielle!
Hi, Danielle.
Are you ready for this? I love you.
I'm ready.
Oh no, I can't hear you. It's kind of cutting out. Can you guys hear her?
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
There we go. There we go. We got you. We got you. It's hard for me to look at Danielle and not immediately feel insane peace. So a little story about, like, I just want to, Danielle, do you care if I say how we met?
No.
So I met Danielle after I was going through a divorce in 2019, and the world didn't know, you know, it was kind of a thing that we were processing as a family. So there was a lot of unprocessed inside of me. I felt like I was trying to keep in and work on something that was hurtful, and all the things, you know. Divorce is hard no matter who you are. And divorce also, historically for me, in my first round, it led me into, I went through an insane identity crisis. I think you can relate to this, right?
Absolutely.
Like, who am I?
Yeah, you guys still don't know either.
If I'm not with this person, like, all that I have, all that I've created is with and because of. So am I going to be okay alone? And I had a friend, ironically, it's the same friend who had brought me to a seminar that had me meet Chris 10 years prior. A friend had said, I need you to meet my friend Danielle. She does the most amazing healing and therapeutic, like, Sora yoga class. And I'm like, okay, fitness, I can do something fitness. I don't know what it is. But at the time, and up to that point in my life, I had barely any ability to cry. I was not a crier.
Huh.
Isn't that insane?
Interesting.
I went to
You've
Danielle's
tapped into
class.
it these days. It's great. It's amazing, though.
I went to Danielle's class at her home, and I remember it was like me and 3 or 4 other women. There were not many people at all. And it was a dark room in your home. And I remember going through the movements and the way, the Sora yoga that she's created, and the breath work and the affirmations and the things that she would say in the middle, had me sobbing in the darkness. I'm serious. I remember being in that room and thinking,
that doesn't sound very pleasant. Also, Danielle has the lighting game and, like, the backdrop game figured out way better than Dave and Heidi do.
I hope nobody here can see me crying, because it tapped into something inside of me that I didn't know needed to be tapped into. And it was like my wounds came out.
It tapped into something. Didn't need it to be tapped.
In a place where they were like, okay, now I'm ready to start. You need to start looking at them, and we need to start healing them. And Danielle and I have been friends ever since. I love her. I subscribe so much to what she does. And I've shared a little bit on here. And so I wanted to bring you here, Danielle, so they can kind of get a taste of what you do for me, what you do for inside of our Get Fit community, because we're so lucky to have you there. We were so lucky to have you at Show Up. Freaking love you.
I will just say real quick, because I have myself been somewhat skeptical of this Danielle. Not because of anything that you've ever done, but just because yoga and breathing was never something that was a part of who I was growing up. And maybe it was like inside of religion. There was always a be skeptical of anything that hasn't happened inside of this church building. But watching the influence and impact that you've had on Heidi.
I've never heard this angle of, like, church being anti-yoga. Like, maybe, like, really fundamentalist denominations or something, I guess. But, like, I'm pretty sure I've also seen Christian yoga classes. Like, what? Where does, like, I don't know where Dave finds these people with these bizarre beliefs, but what the H?
Oh.
I have 50 times. asked Heidi to give me your number, and
I
she
haven't.
refused.
I haven't yet. I haven't.
I'm so interested in tapping into the thing that I've now witnessed at Show Up and have witnessed inside of the Show Up Get Fit community. There's something in this, Danielle. You know it, obviously, because it's the thing you do. But I love the idea of just even getting to show people a little piece of this so that if in any way...
Do you remember how I mentioned on the previous video I did on, like, the video I did on Dave right before this, where he had just gotten out of the treatment program, and I said, yeah, Dave, the problem is that you aren't going to remember this lesson of, hey, there's actually something to this thing that you dismissed for so long. And you're going to repeat that mistake over and over, where you write off something and dismiss it, and then end up later sounding like an idiot going, oh, there's something to this, it turns out. See, look, you're doing it again, Dave.
They have the skepticism that I ever had, that maybe they would open their mind to the possibility of there being something in this.
Wow. Honored. I'm honored to sit with both of you, with this whole community. My heart is just humming. All these comments, all the love, like, thank you, everybody. There's a lot of familiar faces that I met at Show Up, and it's just really great. All the love, like, throw it up, right? It's so great to see the hearts and the connection, right? So, Dave, thank you for bringing up the skeptic. Like, I'm so happy to meet a skeptic. I'm so happy to meet somebody who was at least honest enough to say, like, I don't know about this. And then with some time, maybe I'm curious about this. And that is the place, I think, Heidi, where we cross paths in your journey, right? And you had done so much work in the other aspects of your body, like your physical body. You were so connected and so tapped in that when we did the movement, eyes closed, feel into those spaces in your body, you were able to come online in your energetic body so fast. And then that kind of brought back, wait, I think there's more capacity in my physical body. And then it begins this relationship, right? And so let's just jump in for all of you who are joining us. Let's just jump into a little bit of what Heidi and I do on a daily practice. I invite you, whether you are a skeptic or you are like chomping at the bit to jump into this moment, to just be open. And the beauty of social media, although there is so much toxicity, and Dave, I applaud you for your fast, right? Sometimes I think I have 4 kids.
He's not fasting. He's just eating dinner at Heidi's.
You know, from 22 to 15. And so when they get a little twisted in the energy of the world, we call it a sacred pause. So taking a sacred pause, it's also important to experience that in the breath, because the breath has an inhale and an exhale, but the sacred pause is in the conscious knowing of the relationship of both, right? So it's pausing, disconnecting to reconnect within. So we're just gonna dive in. This is a practice I've shared with Heidi. It's 3 movements, 1 minute each. I should have you teach it now, girl. So if you're seated on a chair, or if you can come into the earth in a cross-legged easy pose, whatever is comfortable for you. And we're just gonna invite you to close your eyes.
This is hilarious. I mean, it kind of just looked like Heidi was like, oh, let me just get my boobs into this shot here, okay?
And as you close your eyes, take a breath into your belly. Deep in your belly, breathe in. And sound HA on the exhale. 2 more times. Breathe in, fill your body up. HA. Together, collectively, deep breath in. And together, releasing all the tension all the way out your body, down, down, down. And then bring it
Wow. Like even their deep breathing it is frantic. Like, that should say a lot. It's like, you guys, go back and look at your own selves trying to do this breathing exercise, and you're both like, like, that's not good. Like, don't you feel that? Like, she said, let the tension out. Sorry, Danielle.
Hands to your knees or to your shins. And we're just going to move our spine in a cow and cat posture. So I'll turn sideways. So what you're going to do is take your heart forward and lift your tailbone back. So your spine becomes a C and your heart lifts, and you slightly open your neck by lifting your chin. And then you exhale, tuck the tailbone under, separate the shoulder blades, and press your heart between. So your inhale moves the body forward, and your exhale releases the body back. And you can move slow or you can move a quicker cadence. I want you to feel the rhythm in your heart.
Oh my God. Dave, it looks like you're inside of something in real time.
And what would it feel like to allow the movement to lead by the breath? So
Danielle, can you just tell them to move, please? Because it kind of, like, do they want us to leave? It looks like they're having a bit of a private moment.
allow the breath to initiate the body. And as you continue to breathe, get really curious.
This looks like the page on Pornhub that shows up before I click the gay button. It's a weird page.
Curious about your body. Where does it feel open and awake? Maybe where does it feel tension and stress?
I know where, like, I'm feeling tense because I'm just like, you guys, like, who the fuck would even think of doing this single file?
Acknowledging both those places, the dark and the light. The harmony and balance, the breath. Inhaling, receiving fresh energy, life force, prana. And exhaling, releasing tension. And do it 3 more times, even deeper. Breathe into a space of
Oh, yeah. Deeper.
your body you have not brought breath to yet. Allow it to. And then we're going to move into some Sufi grinds. So you just inhale and shift the body forward. And then you exhale and roll your body back. So we're going to go 15 seconds each direction. So if you're seated, you'll feel your left and your right sit bone kind of balancing. Feel that. And as you connect to the earth, imagine unwinding, unraveling, connecting a little deeper into the earth. And rather than sitting on the earth, allow yourself to be held in the earth.
Inside of the earth, Danielle. What? Can they not see themselves?
One more full cycle. And then we're going to reverse. Other direction. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, shift back. Really curious about this movement.
What the fuck is going on? My pause trigger finger, you guys. It's I'm sorry, but like, you could show this screenshot to 100 people and every single one would be like, well, obviously she's getting railed. Like, and he is enjoying himself.
And then in the center. So already check the body. How does that
Dave, it
little bit of
looked like you were a little premature there.
movement, that little bit of breath, right? How's that feel?
Yeah, it's so interesting to me. There's a couple things that I always notice, and I noticed right off the bat, the first time I had done anything where I closed my eyes and focused on breathing. I think I had told you the idea of, I was like, wow, to be internal, right? Like in my body and in my head is a thing I don't ever spend time doing. We're in our heads, right? But in a way, traditionally, that has us focused out there. Like we're so focused on what they think and all the different things. So to really spend time on like, how am I feeling? Like, where is this breath going? Imagining the breath going to my fingertips and all of the things. That's always the first. The thing I started noticing the last time you and I met, and then this time I felt the same thing. I've been able for some reason to get enough oxygen in that I actually feel a high. Like I feel the oxytocin, I feel the serotonin, I feel the dopamine. Remember that last time I was like, oh my gosh, there's a thing, because their oxytocin, serotonin, and dopamine are released, right? But like to feel it, there is an actual rush when you get enough oxygen in. And I spend my days shallow breaths.
Heidi, you were still very shallow breathing even during this exercise. Also, I mean, it's probably oxytocin for women, but for the XY people, it's gonna be anti-diuretic hormone, mostly. I know, isn't that such a buzzkill? Also, dopamine is not really a pleasure chemical. Dopamine is a signal of like drive or motivation or desire. So like it's not necessarily a pleasant experience to experience dopamine. It often is, but it doesn't have to be. Like it can be like restless, very dissatisfied, like you're very like motivated to get something versus like being content with what you have. So yeah, dopamine is desire, not pleasure.
Catch myself, like, so yeah, it's amazing. I just felt like numb fingertips.
Well, it's interesting because I have been trying to be way more present with whatever I'm thinking or whatever I'm feeling. And there's something interesting in an exercise that asks you to try and like sync all things that for me felt like a little bit of I was a step closer to aligning, as weird as that might sound, being inside my thoughts with my thoughts as opposed to outside observing them. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I felt anything other than like connection. Yeah. Proximity.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Which is awesome. Just didn't know that. Do you want a hair tie by chance?
Oh, I think it'll take away. I don't want. That's okay. I'm good though. Thank you. I saw one thing. Go ahead, Danielle.
Well, I just talking about the alignment, right? So, in manifestation, like I'm all about the magic of manifestation, and when you work with.
All right, you're on my shit list too.
I mean, Heidi, you can speak to what comes online when you are aligned within your vibration, whether it's source, God, Christ, love, the highest vibrations, then your thoughts, your words, and your actions are in alignment with that high frequency. And now in action, say it to create it, we're manifesting. I'm like, oh, how is she so lucky? She always gets, it's like, that's alignment. That's alignment. That's in the flow. And it's a practice, because like that little dial, that frequency, sometimes it shifts throughout the day. And if we're not paying attention, the world is so great at distracting us that we're listening to a static radio station and we're like, I don't even know how it got there. And so we just use this this attunement to come back into center.
Can I pick it up with my tuner so that I can find out like what like the vibration is, like what hertz? Like, is it like 440 hertz? Like, is it a concert A? Can I, like, how can I measure it? Like, will my tuner pick it up? Like, I have a tuner. Like, that picks up vibration. I don't understand this at all.
And I don't know if I can skip or I can pull your messages down, but somebody up a little bit. I heard like they said they hadn't cried in like 6 months, right?
Have a pull
And,
that. I are both. Yeah. Yep.
and like I just and Heidi talked about crying, and it's not the kind of cry where you're like, something's wrong with me, or I feel so broken. There's no need to like get under it and like label it and to judge it right or wrong or because of this. Like get out of that process. And we know that energy in motion is emotion. So if we have a feeling and we connect to the energy in the highest frequency, which is not a judgment, not a fear, not a shame, allowing it just to be as it is in this present moment, now we can alchemize it. We can move it through the body using breath, using movement, right? Activating our agency, our power to choose.
That made no fucking sense to me. Like, that just sounded like a bunch of gobbledygook.
Yeah, I caught that comment too. And I second everything you say. And I felt that. Becky had said, I did just that. But the deep breathing and the movement made me burst into tears. I haven't cried in over 6 months. Why did this happen? So Becky, I can relate. And this is the thing. Remember the first handful of times you and I were doing these one-on-one calls. I couldn't so much as deep breathe for even a minute and go in without crying. And I think part of it too for me was, again, it's the idea that I spend so little time connecting with my heart and my soul. And I spend so much time out there trying to fix and be what I think they need me to be, right? What I think, if they see me being this, then I'll be enough, because at the end of the day, all we want is to feel enough and to feel loved and to sit there. And all we were doing was breathing, right? Breathing. And you were giving guidance and meditation on me connecting with me and right, that I'm enough, right? And there's even breaths that are like, you are enough, right? Everything you need is within you, kind of a thing. And those things and those reminders are like so powerful to me. And the acknowledgement that I give myself in that moment with the breathing, it's hard for me not to cry. It's really awesome.
Do you think that we've been wired or trained, programmed to be affirmed by others in their response to our actions, and the idea of stopping to be with ourselves separate from any kind of reaction is hard if that's the way that we've been trained? Or is that...
Dave, do you think that if you got new tires, you both could stop spinning your wheels? Because you've been saying the same shit for years now.
Crazy. Because like if I disrupt what has been kind of the steady noise that just is in being in this world of the work or whatever, and be with myself, that is jarring only because it is something that ends up being uncomfortable because of how comfortable we have been made to become in...
He's going to say that he's going to become comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Performing for, or working for, or hustling for worth or enough.
I think too, and you might have something, I actually think it's scary. So when I am told, and you tell me, Danielle, and I need it every day, it's so crazy. I need to be reminded every time we have a call, it's in the midst of something happening. And your reminder that I'm enough and I'm powerful alone, right? As I am, is like a scary and amazing, like, okay, she's right? But it's me facing again that responsibility is on me, right? So now does that make sense?
Yeah.
To have the responsibility.
Yeah.
Anyway, Danielle, were you going to say something?
Yeah. Dave, again, nailed it with the thought of disrupting the pattern. So what happens in the day, because we are so busy doing and the world is so exhausting, that frequency, especially for teens, like they can't even calibrate it. When I work with teens after school, they're like hooked up to nuclear power plants of energy. It's like, and like they don't even know it. That's normal to them. This cadence we pick up. And then so we're in fight or flight, and I can break it down. Like this is science, but as far as like feeling it, your heart is racing, and we're breathing with the capacity of this much of our body. And our shoulders are tight, and so everything is contracted, and we have locks within our bodies that feel a certain way and are suppressing emotion, and our body keeps a score. It's a beautiful book. And this intelligence, this information, because not process the question. Trauma is process, just cycle in the body. So when we get curious about it, we use breath and movement. Now we're opening up our body, and we're feeling the capacity, which is a remembrance of who we are, which is eternal and divine. Our divine nature, this remembrance comes online. And like Heidi said, it's beautiful to have somebody support us and remind it. But what she's unlocking in this practice every day is her own remembrance of who she truly is. The magnificent, the power, the gifts, the vision, the grace, the beauty. And it takes time to practice that remembrance, because we're in practice of us unconscious remembrance all the time by what the world tells us we are.
Yeah.
And so, and more important to take time to pause, to connect and remember that our energy is sacred. It's actually sacred. And what would it look like to move through your life as a ceremony if you could remember that
I love that.
Right? Just driving like, oh my God, look at that tree. Look at that beautiful old person who's crossing the road, and I'm not annoyed. I'm like, they're beautiful in their simple steps, slow steps. They're beautiful in their expression. I get to pick up my kid from school. I have a beautiful car, and I get to make this trip for the 4th time today because I have children.
Yeah.
You do things just with a different, encoded energy or connection.
Oh, I love that.
So
I love it. This is what I look forward to every single day. Every single day I get to connect with you.
Danielle, I get what you're saying. Honestly, I kind of admire her confidence and her on-screen presence, even though I kind of hate a lot of her beliefs, or at least the way she expresses them. But these people are way too high-strung to ever, like, even approach loosening up enough to benefit from this.
And I love, one of the reasons I decided to do this was, number one, I mean, I completely believe, obviously, in always growing and finding things that I could better inside of who I am. And one of them is focusing on my mental health, emotional, spiritual health, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, you and I have worked together in different ways over the years and been friends, and know you have been inside of our community. So that Get Fit community, you had popped in, the people, and I see so many of them right here. They love, from the moment you set foot in there, they just loved you. And you were going to be at Show Up with me, which I mean, you and having you there was such a blessing for them and also for me, and being able to be and keep me centered. Oh, thank you. But yeah, I remember I had called you. I said, hey, up to Show Up, what would it look like if I could work with you every single day? And I can hold, that would be my new power promise, right? My power promise is to connect with myself for 5 to 10 minutes every day. And so you and I started this thing, which was amazing. And every single session I have with you is a thing that I want to share. And I'm so great. Again, all these people that know, because you guys have been inside of the Get Fit community, I'm so excited for you to come back and to do something inside of there too. And obviously, and I know this is just the beginning. There's so many more things we're going to be doing together. I saw someone say retreat. Yeah, we're going to be doing stuff like that, because and Mona, I saw you say being in her.
How much is that going to cost?
Her presence, even virtually, is magic. And it is so powerful. Then when you see her in person and meet you.
Yeah, I'll give her that. I mean, it is, she's got an amazing presence.
You don't even see, you feel. It's the most amazing thing. And it's you said the reminder every day. It's a reminder just to be, and what were you going to say?
Well, I had become a believer because of how many times you were storytelling the power of your 5, 10, whatever it was, minute breathing, meditation, your frequency with this human. But that first day of Show Up, we got into a small room where someone was doing your makeup, and
I was crying.
Well, the invitation for you to step into all of the glory of who you've been created to be was overwhelming. I mean, it was overwhelming. And the way that some of the negative voices or some of your doubt or whatever it was kind of creeping in
Fear.
was now producing not even just tears. I mean, like it was overwhelming. It was a lot. And Danielle walked over and able to, within like 30 seconds, introduce an exercise that fundamentally changed the energy and took what was, anxiety and turned it into excitement, or took, whatever it was. It just like, it flipped a switch. And I was just like, yo, I need Danielle in my life too.
Dave, don't say yo ever again.
Let's go.
Just man, it's just like, it's such a blessing. And it's also just, I think, a great reminder of how much power we have with breathing or intentional pausing or whatever it is.
How much power we have here in general.
Yeah, just to reset.
You need
we can
someone
do
to
that.
activate it.
Yeah.
You had said at one point, you said, you activate, and you do. Like, that's what you do, right? Like, I feel like it's one thing to have the power and to know it's there, but it's another to know how to activate it. And the only way anybody can activate power is by tapping into themselves, right? And that is that's what you've helped me do. So anyway, I don't know how often we're going to do this, but I know this is the thing I want to do. We'll come here occasionally. I know you're going to be inside of the challenge, which I'm excited about. Do you have any, sorry, this hair is crazy.
I think it's a Beyonce moment. I feel like you should be working it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Is there anything else you want to add, Danielle?
Let's see. I do. I want to share this. When we feel overwhelmed, because it happens to us throughout the day often, and the more in tuned we are to it, the more we have an opportunity to like speak to it. And understanding that it's just information. It doesn't have to be good or bad or right or wrong. It's just information. And you give yourself the permission to be curious, to explore. Again, Dave said it, the two sides of the same coin. One can feel like fear, and the other is excitement. So when you find yourself in this fight or flight, your heart beating, take a deep breath in, count to 3. Take a deep breath out, count to 3, and then move to 4 and 5. And what you're doing is expanding the capacity of you.
I love that.
That frequency, that space, that intimacy, into me, see. Remember who you truly are. You are loved.
Thank you. I love you too. Thank you.
You got it.
And
I'm excited to be in the community for the Get Fit Challenge. Let's go. All the bodies, right? All the bodies.
No, don't ruin my phrase.
yes, of course. We'll see you in there.
Hey, love you guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Should I hang up now? How do I do this?
It's dealer's choice.
I mean,
You're
what do you want to do?
truly, it's up to
Just sit
you.
here.
By the way, doing breathing exercises in my backyard
It's
actually
beautiful.
works.
I know.
I am here.
Yeah. Breathing exercises.
Yeah, it's really nice. All right, guys, we're gonna get going a lot.
Oh.
Now that was
No.
truly like that little pause is what I look forward to every day in the midst of my chaos. And almost every single day, I'm like, I don't even think I have time. I don't have time for a pause. And then what happens is I take a pause, I do my breathing, whether it's with Danielle or without, even on my own. And somehow it ends up creating space and time that I didn't previously have, because it allows me to reprioritize. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And figure out what is most important and what can go.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like, you and I kind of have the same kind of thought pattern where, like, if you stress us out enough, we just get all out of sorts. You know, that's why you need to pause. You need to pause more, Heidi.
What I'm making a big deal that's not really a big deal. Anyway, at the same time, no. So actually, go in the challenge. Actually, you're in the challenge. So we'll have Danielle in the challenge. I saw a couple of people saying that they didn't know how to join. It's HeidiPowell.net get fit. I'll post it in this description here. But I have Danielle and a handful of other people inside with those workouts and all of the things. I'm super excited about it. It's coming up.
I just recently bought the domain macattack.net, so I was pretty excited that was available. I think macattack.com is available as well, but there's a domain squatter on it and it's really expensive.
So soon. Heather, hi Heather. I love seeing familiar faces here. All right, guys, we're gonna get back. What's for dinner? They want to know.
I think we're gonna go see a movie where they make dinner for you.
Are we?
Are we?
I don't know. I mean, we've got to get some more videos shot. Listen, this
we're gonna
is
shoot
me.
videos, and I'm gonna go pick up dinner.
Thank you.
That sounds like a good time.
Yep. Marissa just said HeidiPowell.net/getfit. Okay, I'll put it on here right now. Love you guys. I'll talk to you.
I guess Heidi and Dave are making adult videos now. Okay, that was worth it. Thank you to those of you who said that I had to go watch it and react. That was the funniest thing those two people have ever done and probably will ever do. All right, everybody. I've been Mac. Peace out. Bye.